What what is good, my people? We are live back on the forecast, back on another live episode. Give it a second, let the people come in. Um, as always, man, you wanna go subscribe to the backup channel. I know YouTube is hating on the videos and stuff right now. They just took down, the last video I put up. So I'm gonna try to get it back up, but they YouTube trying to make it hard right now. But it's all good. But make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel because you don't want to miss when I put the video up because it goes down so fast. But I always say I'm not really trying to be on here too long, but I'm really not today. But I just came to talk to the people. I want y'all to call in today. And the number is right there on the screen, 804-601-4015. And I'm sure a lot of y'all saw what's going on with you know, Kamala Harris being picked as vice president by Joe Biden. And I am a little hurt by the amount of black people that's caping for Joe Biden. You know, Mr. Joe Biden himself said, you know, I don't care why they are like they are. I just want them away from my mother and my drug addict son. So if we lock them up forever because I know we put them in this position, but we'll just lock them up forever because we can't be rehabilitated. And now those very people he's talking about is putting on their capes to defend Joe Biden and his whole history of racism. Right? You mean to tell me he's been racist for 60 years up until 2008, right? When he met Obama, as he says, the first clean, good Negro that he's ever met. But we still today have not learned our lesson. We are, and we're showing that we are acting like children politically, right? And then so many people say, well, what's the alternative? I can't stand Trump, as if, Biden is any better, right? They say, not voting for Biden is a vote for Trump. Well, that's a dumb argument because if I was going to go vote for Trump, but I didn't vote, wouldn't that be a vote for Biden? But the difference is if Hillary Clinton was the president, do you think there'll be protests right now going on? People will be comfortably getting letting murderers get away with what they do. What's going on, brother Bukhari? If Hillary Clinton had won the presidency, so many people would be comfortable. But at least with Donald Trump president, now people are going to wake up and do what they have to do. But the problem is too many black people are agreeing, right? If you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you're not black. And so many of us got our capes on and we're shaming each other. And we black people are the only group that'll get shamed into voting for people who don't even like you, who can't stand you and have literally done things to your detriment. And we are the only group of people that is okay with that. And so many people tell you, well, your ancestors died for the right to vote. That is not true, right? They went to vote and they were murdered, first of all. Second of all, even if you say that, they died for the right to have representation, not to just meaninglessly vote between, who they think is less racist than the other. And it makes no sense because this lesser of two evil stuff has got to stop. Because there is no lesser of two evils. They all maintain this system. And then they'll say, well, what other options do you have? You have every other option. But if you keep giving your vote to somebody who doesn't even care, who doesn't want your vote, then what do you expect to change? Every couple years, we'd be like, well, I don't like either candidate, but this person we cannot let in the office. Meanwhile, the person who you're voting for, they may smile in your face, but they're doing the exact same thing. Right? Everything that people are afraid that Donald Trump would do, right? Hillary Clinton was already on the record 20 years earlier doing those things. Joe Biden already on the record 30, 40, 50 years earlier doing those things. Yet it is Donald Trump that we have to keep out of office. We have to start growing up and being aware of the position that we are in. I can see if we had a candidate specifically for our interests that we nominate that's supposed to represent the people. But we aren't funding any candidates. And you know what? It's not in any candidate, even someone that looks like Barack Obama, to destroy white supremacy. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to save us. But they can't fully go out and say and do all of the stuff that we want them to say and do only during election time. And brother Bakari, I'm gonna send you the link if you want to come on. But just like with the NFL years ago, just 4 years ago, blackballing Colin Kaepernick. The NBA now, Black Lives Matter is on every player's jersey. But we have to realize politically that they see nothing. They don't see us as anything but politics. Our lives are nothing but politics to them. What's going on, brother? I can't really say your name. And y'all can call in and say whatever y'all want to say. I want to hear from people who think we should, vote for Joe Biden just to get Donald Trump out. Or, the opposite. People who think we should vote for Donald Trump. What I'm saying is we are still in the system where they vote every 20 some years, whether we still have the right to be able to vote. Or at least that, the Voters' Right Act is still on the books. No, you can call in right now if you want. But we're talking about a system, right, that isn't even okay with us participating in it, except for when they need us. And we've fallen for the same thing over and over. Every single time when America goes to war, every time America has an election. All right, let me take this call. Hello?
Hello, Focus, Focus
Yeah, what's going on?
Radio. Hello,
Yeah, what's going on,
can you
bro?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me see if I have stuff that what I can pick off of my phone. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you my name. I'm not. It's no secret. I'm not gonna be hiding my name. So, Focus. I my name is Pelege. Okay, so Pelege, Pelege. So I'm from Haiti originally, currently living in America, reside in Ohio, Columbus. So I want to touch on a lot of things, but I want to keep it on your topic. As far as the voting, the black vote, I saw your title to your YouTube video. Well, before I start, um, videos that I've seen from you over the past years, and yeah, obviously I was in a dark place. I've listened to your videos. I mean, for me, they are good information, and I like them and I appreciate them. And obviously, if you channel, I think your channel would grow. I believe you. In order for your channel to grow, you need to like bash black people. You know what I'm saying? And you still there with me, brother?
Yeah, I hear you. Definitely, I agree with you, and I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, no. I mean, for real. So, you need to make sure that you integrate, black people and talk about black on black crime, talk about all that stuff. But anyways, I mean, I love where your spirit is. Um, but so with I'm just, I'm sad, for my people. I'm talking about the global melanin family. Some of us are not gonna make it. It's not a physical thing. It's not about going to hell, going to heaven. That's not what I mean. Um, a lot of us. I mean, I've watched a few of your lives before. You've got a lot of smart people that's on your live, but they all saying that I'm not disrespecting anybody that you have on your life or you, okay? But it's just like people are using a lot of big words and saying the same thing over and over again. Here's the thing. Let me just like say a few. Let me just say about the black vote or what have you, Kamala Harris. Um, Kamala Harris is team white supremacy. Understand that. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about me. She's a sellout. Okay, and because she had to shock and jiving. But here's my thing. A lot of black people, they have to coexist with white people right now. Some of us work for white people, like myself, and I don't have any issues with white people. Understand what I'm saying, though. Some of my friends are white, but here's the thing. I will never forgive the atrocity that happened to my ancestors, the murders, the slavery that we've been in for the past 6,000 years. It's not the past 500 years, but for over past 6,000 years, brother. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I understand, and I studied a little bit of John Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark. Sometimes we got to do what we have to do. But what is our voting? Black people by design, we are loving people. We are conservative people. But just what the Democratic Party has done, they have tricked black people. They've turned a Republican Party. They've vilified the Republican Party. I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. I would not vote. If you ask me who's more dangerous, I would say Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. 100%. Is Donald Trump and loose cannon? Absolutely. Absolutely he is. But I just think black people, my brother, let me tell you something. I didn't finish college. I have some college degree. But you know what? I'm not going to come here and use big words and use fancy language and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. I don't know how much you know about the history of Haiti. We don't play games with people. We don't protest. We love people, but we are about results, okay? And there's a lot of people on this YouTube streets, who just working against each other. We are the most powerful people. And for me, if I were black people, my demands would be, reparations. Well, the important thing is we need to be able to have our protection, protection, where people just can't just come out and straight kill us like George Zimmerman did, and and get away with it. And Yanamo Yanez, Philando Castile, and there was no justice. Sandra Bland, no justice.
So let me ask you this. What do you think of so you think of Black America should get reparations, right?
I agree with you 1,000%, my brother. 1,000%. Yes.
So what do you think they should be?
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
No, I was saying, what do you think the reparations should be?
Oh man, okay. Here's the thing. Well, first, listen. First off, we need healing, okay? Healing, that's the number one thing. And then second, it would have to be land, and it would be a form of a payment of cash. People talking about 20 trillion dollars. I want to say make it $50 trillion. Okay? I don't like I said, we need. Here's the thing, my brother. We will never be able to build a country inside the walls of the United States. You feel me? Because that won't happen. It just won't. You have to. The history. There's a pattern. We are an abusive relationship. We are. That's just facts. Look at Black Wall Street, Rosewood. You talk about you even covered. I believe you covered the Red Summer, the Chicago riots, or whatever. I believe you made a video about that. I listen to those, man. Sometimes it angers me. It angers me. So yes, Black people, we need healing globally. Okay, I used to be a Christian, my brother. I'm no longer a Christian. I am no longer a Christian. And let me tell you something, too. I don't want people to say, oh, he's an agent and stuff like that or whatever. If people want to say those things, that's fine. I used to be married to a white woman. And I have I have a black son with her. And let me tell you something. White liberals are the most ruthless, racist people you can ever meet on the face of the planet. They are. But they always find a way to vilify, to confuse you with white extremists. There's a difference, okay? But my thing is, my brother, leaving Haiti at a young age, I was 13 when I left Haiti at an age, but I live around white people. Is the thing though. I understand white people. I understand how they operate. Okay? But my thing is, now, since I'm no longer a Christian, I understand I'm a sick person. Globally, black people are sick. We suffered from PTSD trauma. If you study Dr. George DeGruy, her trauma about it, because like we are. If anybody would say like, well, I'm not sick, I'm not this. No, I mean, that person doesn't understand how white supremacy operates. We never got a chance to heal. We didn't go. There was no counseling that was provided to us, my brother. You see what I'm saying, though? And for me, the argument can be, well, what are the black people going to do if they get the money? No, it's none of their business. Give us the money, we can do whatever. Black people, we're so freaking loyal, my brother. We are too loyal. Let me tell you something. I'm not trying to be here to be like, to get views, from your show and stuff like that. I mean, I was looking at you, see if you had a cash up. I was going to donate something, but I didn't see the dollar sign, but, from you, do a super chat. But anyways, here's my thing. Unity is the key. Okay? Our vote, vote or doesn't vote. I mean, everybody, people already elected. All those presidents, they were like, if they're going to put you in office, they're going to put you in office. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I just think black people, globally, we do the same crap over and over and over again. It's called insanity. If I were brother of LeBron James or LeBron James' father, I would advise him, I would say, son, sit out. Don't play a little game until, there's equal justice for black people. Okay? Now you see right now how the coaches are, NCAA coaches, basketball coaches, whatever, football coaches, they want to play. They're on the front of the camera. This was going on 2 months ago. They were sending out tweets. If you remember, Dabo Sweeney was saying like football lives matter and stuff like football matters. People are touching black people. We're a sleeping giant, my brother. We are a sleeping giant.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, let me, because I had another call in.
Okay.
So, yeah, but go ahead, finish up. You can go ahead and finish.
No. Hey, listen, brother. Let me tell you something. Go ahead and take care of that call. And you know what? If you don't have any more calls, I will, I can call again if you don't mind. But I mean, like, I really appreciate your contact. And, and before I go, I believe, in my opinion, black people here, black Americans here, they should have an African plan or a Caribbean plan or a Brazil plan, South American plan. Okay? Because I don't care how much money you have here. You'll never, ever, ever be free. You'll never, ever be free here. You'll never, ever be free here. I don't care if you're making like $2-3 million a year. Okay? So think about those things, my brother. Okay? And I hope I can have some, some conversations with you. I don't know how long you plan on going tonight, but I'll be respectful to the other callers. Okay?
All right. Yeah. I appreciate the call.
No problem, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, my name is Pelesh.
What's that?
My name is Pilej. That's how you say my name, Pilej.
Pilej. All right.
Yes, Pilej. Okay. All right, my brother. Thank you.
And yeah, that the other caller, you can call back in or whatever. And yeah, I'll let him speak because I agree with some of the stuff he was saying, and like as far as people coming on, I don't think people come on here use big words necessarily, but apparently we do have to have these conversations because we still in the same position and we still doing the same thing. Now my brother that just called in, he comes from Haiti, and Haiti has a whole lot of lessons that we can learn. Not only how they fought and drove out the oppressors or whatever, but and not to be disrespectful to Haiti, but we have to understand how, like, was the Haitian Revolution successful because it was the civil war, the infighting between the biracials, the mulattoes, and the darker skinned people, and it allowed the French and other European forces to come back in and say, if you don't pay me this money, then we're going to, enslave you, re-enslave you or whatever. And, we can learn lessons from that because that is white supremacy's number one goal, is to divide and to conquer, right? And especially in the Black community in America, the it was to divide and to conquer. And we're being divided into political parties where neither one of them has our best interest. Now, when people say, the Democrats have been in charge of the Black community or whatever for 50 plus years and look at the results, they're right about that. But what they won't tell you is, that would mean the Republicans were in charge over 50 years ago. And you see the results that got, right? You got Emmett Tills and stuff like that. But we aren't, well, really is a fear thing because we understand, we always know that whole lesser of the two evil thing. That's a system meant to be in place, right? To keep us every so often, every 4 years, right? Thinking we're involved in the system. And originally, we weren't even supposed to be involved in it. And we still aren't supposed to be involved in it. But, right. But we are still here defending, people who literally pass laws to destroy us as a people. And anybody could call in. I'm really not trying to be on here too late. And the number is 804-601-4015. But we do have to talk about these things. And there are plenty of things we can do without voting, right? And the number one thing is building our economic structure. And, I always say we can have the most successful Black business people where we all elect, and have them form a council and put them in charge of strictly funding and helping grow Black businesses. And we'll be able to put those businesses in our communities, right? And then we'll support them, and in return, they'll be able to hire us. From. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, peace, brother Forecast.
What up, brother Bakar? What's going on, bro?
Oh man, that just one thing. Chime in on your show for a second or three, if you don't mind.
Yeah, do your thing, bro.
Yeah. I see you named the Black Vote. The Black Vote is not appreciated. I almost said underappreciated. It's not appreciated at all. It's not respected. But we still act as if we have to vote Democrat or we have to vote. So, when they like to say our ancestors died for the right to vote, I mean, they also had a right not to vote. This is not our election. That's just a fact. We have no one to vote for. People can say how racist Trump is and how bigoted Trump is all they want. And he is a bigot. I don't support Trump. But I ask people all the time, why do we ignore how bigoted Joe Biden is? Any man that go do a eulogy when he was president, Vice VP under Obama in 2010, he did the eulogy for Robert Byrd, senator from West Virginia, the known Klan leader of his chapter in West Virginia, and called him a great man. Why do we give that a pass? Why do black people give that a pass? I have no idea. So now this man can sit on in an interview with Charlemagne. If you don't vote for me, if you're thinking about not voting for me, you're not black. If that was Donald Trump. But it's okay in our people's mind because he's a Democrat. And they always say, well, we know Republicans ain't going to do nothing for us. Democrats not going to do anything for us either. It's about time for us to just say, hell with with this election like the presidential election. Let this white people stuff, let them fight over it. Let them fight over this. This is not ours. We do not have a horse in the race or a dog in the fight. This is theirs. But we can't sit back and be still because we are looking for some white person to be better than another white person. So then he go get this woman and say she is black. She was never black before until she decided to be in the presidential race. She has identified as Indian. She has identified as Asian, but she never identified as black before. So then people want to, well, you know, she went to Howard University. And so did Rachel Dolezal. Well, she was AKA and a Greek fraternity, a Greek sorority, rather. But what does that mean? Everybody go to an HBCU is not black. This woman, and whether she's, so what I said was, does it make a difference if she's black? What's their agenda? Black people. I'm tired of giving my vote away. We are constantly damn ignored. They get up, they tell you what they're going to do for Hispanics and the illegal immigrants. They tell you what they're going to do for all of the for the alphabet crew, LG, all of the LGB, them. Tell you what they're going to do for them. When it comes to black people, they can't never do nothing specifically for black people. When Joe Biden was vice president under Obama, they gave the 5 civilized tribes, the 5 slave-owning tribes, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, and Seminole. Those 5 tribes split $3.5 billion a year for 8 years. In his last year in, he gave every native tribe some form of reparation. Then you know what he did for Israel. But whenever it comes to us, we have to sit and just wait. We just go and don't get nothing. So there is no black vote. There is people going to a poll being utterly disrespected at all times. And we have to get rid of this old civil rights mindset that generations have passed telling us you got to vote. Voting have not done a goddamn thing, pardon my French on your show, but voting have not done a damn thing for black people. We can't name nothing that it has done for black people. It makes black people argue over which one is better, Democrat or Republican, and we never sit back and say, neither one of them is for us. Maybe about 10 million black people go in and vote and just write your own name and let them know that we are tired of them And we're not falling for their tricks anymore. Kamala Harris, she done took a picture pouring hot sauce on her food. You know that's what Hillary Clinton did. Don't nobody have to do nothing but give us some symbols. So, bruh, that's all I wanted to call in and say. I'll, when I get out this weather, get back to my home, I'll watch you some more. But thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, he's absolutely right. You know, voting has always been a tool they use to keep us subjugated, to keep us in our place. Again, we can go through the whole history of America from the very first war, the Revolutionary War, when George Washington promised black people freedom because, he realized he was losing the war. And he had to come to the black vote, he had to get the power of black people behind him to win the war. And we've been falling for the same trick despite, how many false promises that we've gotten. But we still fall for the same trick and we still tell each other, right now we just have to get this person out of office. And like my brother just said, Obama went to Israel and gave a speech about how the Holocaust was the worst event in history, right? But when asked the question about black reparations, he started talking about schools in South Carolina for everybody. And in America, when we start talking about black issues, we start talking about making things better for everybody. But when we do that, we're still keeping us on the bottom, but we'll accept that and we're okay with that because they know all I have to do is say, the Republicans don't care about you. I'm on this black radio show, so you see that I care about you. And there are far too many other black people that'll jump down your throat for even saying something like that. But we are in a time where, that older generation that he mentioned, the civil rights generation, is going out. And it's a different day and age. And, that's a part of my theory of why, these groups, these organizations like Black Lives Matter, the organization, where you see mostly white kids out there burning stuff down, because they know if we were to take it into our own hands, right, they would have no control over what's being burned down, what's being targeted, because we're coming after the whole system. But as long as they know, well, all we have to do is appease the black vote, even if we picked certain leaders who don't identify as black, who will uphold the system of white supremacy, but they have a black face, so that's okay. And Joe Biden is so racist that he had to pick somebody, right, that could be identified as a black woman in order to have any kind of chance as a president. But at the same time, he's so racist, he would not pick an black woman, an American black woman, right, who's proud of her heritage, who's been claiming black all of her life, who doesn't necessarily come from a slave owning background, who doesn't have a history of locking up black people specifically. And all of these black people who tell you, well, we just got to put that aside, they were the ones when she was running for president to say, I wouldn't vote for her because of these reasons. But now all of a sudden everything is all right because you have to get this person out of office. But because everybody always comes to us when they need unity, right? Black people are the people of unity. we'll be quick to put aside our issues and go stand up, right? So, because it's not just a immigrant problem, it's our problem too. We'll be quick to stand up for illegal immigrants. We'll be quick to stand up for every other community but our own. But then once we stand up and help these other communities, what do we get in return? We get more bloodshed, right? And the brother mentioned it earlier, and he said, they haven't really done anything to him specifically, but they doing it to all of us specifically. Because I talk about you know um the horrific crimes that they do, but we should be angry that we aren't in control of our own food supply, right? We should be angry that we aren't in control, or that we fight over pieces of paper with slave owners on it, right? And to us, that is money. When really it should be the natural resources that are abundant in the places where you see black people at. But they found a way to keep us chained to this system. And LBJ said, I'll have those niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and damn if it ain't 60 years later. And if you dare speak out about it, then it's an issue. But far too many of us, will vote based on skin color. And we should be supporting our own. And I'll be honest, right? And the first Obama election was the first time I was eligible to vote, but I didn't vote for him either time. And the first time I probably should have, for the culture, right? Because for the Black American experience, that was an achievement. But like every achievement, it's nothing but symbolism. Because anything tangible, right, has always been illegal in America. And black conservatives, they always bring up how the Democrats destroyed the black family, but it wasn't the Democrats that destroyed the black family. It was the whole structure of the system. That's been the number one goal of white supremacy from day one, was to destroy the black family. And back then, it wasn't because they were voting, either Republican or Democrat, even though the parties were different back then. They realized there was no illusion of inclusion for them to be caught up in. They realized they were facing an enemy that hated them so much they wouldn't even accept their money. Right? But now we think because they will accept our money that things are different. This is progress. And we're wasting our right to vote if we don't participate in this system. And yeah, there were, during Reconstruction, there were plenty of black, politicians, black people in office. But they literally drove them out of office, right? They had the whole Redeemer thing, the Redeemer governments, where they physically drove them out of office. And yeah, that was over 100 some years ago. But today, right, you have elected officials like that sister Aramis Ayala, and she is a black woman. She calls herself a black woman. So if Kamala Harris can, call herself a black woman now, this sister is definitely a black woman. She is an elected official. And all she said was she don't want to have the death penalty. So they took all of her cases away from her. They tried to get her out of office. But the fact that she's an elected official, they couldn't. But her power being elected into that position didn't matter when she started challenging white supremacy. You have like that Judge Olu Stevens. He just didn't let a black defendant have an all-white jury. And I believe he's elected into his position. And they called him racist. They brought him up on charges. They forced him to apologize. Or you have people like Marilyn Mosby. But the issue is, every time it comes time for us to defend one of our own, right? And that goes with, the athletes who people say that should speak up. We don't have their back when they do. That's the issue. When somebody, especially a politician or something like that, is out there standing up, literally, really standing up against white supremacy and trying to do things for black people, we can't start saying, oh, well, right is right. We can't be like they are. Because we have to start focusing on self-preservation. We always want to help everybody else, but we can't help somebody if we're not in a position to help ourselves. But we don't have the, mental fortitude, it seems, to want to help ourselves. Instead, we look for, that white savior to come in and save us. But there has been literally more slave-owning presidents in American history than non-racist presidents. And that includes Obama. Because, that whole, and, this goes to the whole ADOS thing, they have used specific things, right, to keep black Americans, they'll put certain people who don't identify as black, and that's not to say, people from who are not, ADOS are, would do that, but there are some who would come here who believe what white supremacy tell them about black Americans, and the same goes vice versa. But they will put them in positions and say, well, look, see, we have other black people speaking up. Right? You had Bill Clinton, right? He said he blamed what he did on the Black Caucus. But the Black Caucus doesn't represent black people, because the majority of black people was against that. But, here's Bill Clinton that made his claim to fame, right? Tried to get the black vote by attacking a black woman like Sister Soldier, who was speaking out against what was going on in LA about the LA riots. And he used that sister to propel himself to the presidency. And, we have black people calling him the first black president ever because he played the saxophone or whatever he played. And it ain't until, 2016 that he even speak on it, when Hillary Clinton is running for president. And, the people in positions where they have money and they have stuff to lose, they're going to speak out for these candidates because they have stuff to lose. And we don't really have faith in each other But we have to start showing that we have each other's back, right? And it starts on a small scale. But, and I hate to say it, but it's that the children of the civil rights generation, right? They may have been the most misled generation of all of us in America, right? Because they were brought up as children into integration, right? And as children, they don't realize how horrible that whole process of integration was, right? How these grown white people is sitting there screaming, yelling at 6, 7-year-old little kids, saying, "We hate you, nigga. Go back to where you're from." And we're fighting to be a part of this system. And we fought to be a part of it, not even realizing integration to me was a counter move by them. Right? They may say, well, it was black people asking for it. But when it came to things like, even then, they were asking for equal justice, not to be lynched by walking down the street, or a white woman saying you whistled at her, and a little boy is mutilated. That's what they were talking about. They were talking about equal funding for the schools. But, during that time, they start passing stuff like the Highway Act to destroy the rest of the black communities that were left. Right? They were building the projects around the 60s. And, the only thing integration has done was make it harder to target specific black communities, except for the hood. Right? Because before, when we all had to live in the same district, right, they can just walk down to our area and burn everything down. But that also made us, be separated. We're not on the same page like we were. We have this illusion of inclusion, like we're accepted. And, people like Thurgood Marshall played a role in it because they were willing to give equal funding, and they probably would have had to fight for it still. They were willing to give those equal funding. But it was Thurgood Marshall and the NAACP who said no, the only way was to have integration. And just like today, all of this stuff started to change, right? When they went from the civil rights to the Black Power movement, when people like Stokely Carmichael start speaking and saying, we're not going to get punched in the face. If somebody punch you in the face, you punch them back. Then all of a sudden, it's violence. And the brother mentioned the 5 civilized tribes or whatever. But we have to pay attention because their propaganda has been the same, right? Today, we see Indians and they're depicted as the ones who scalping people, right? But that started with James Madison, right? When they tried to rebel against, the colonizers, they were Europeans, white Americans were the ones scalping the Native Americans. But the way they're depicted today is the opposite. And we have to be careful with the symbolism, right? We definitely have to be careful about who we let in there. But that's the key part about controlling the narrative, because When we start talking about we don't want to be oppressed, we want freedom, now all of a sudden this is violence. But when they drop a bomb on some poor country, it's a success. And we fall right in line with that media. And we'll say and do whatever to be accepted by their media. By the way, anybody could call in. I'm not gonna be on here too much longer. The number is 804-601-4015. And now, like we're children, they're gonna put this woman who has a long history of anti-blackness and now call her black. But they're able to get away with it because so many black people are willing to accept it, and not only accept it, but defend it and attack other people if you say something about it. And they say, if you don't vote, well, what is your alternative? Well, since we had the Voters' Right Act, right, we all can say that we're in a worse position than we were. The only difference is like maybe 60 or 70 years ago, I would have got lynched for the stuff I'm saying, or at least had bombs thrown through my window. And you can't give that credit to the system of white supremacy. You got to give that credit to your ancestors. Why? Because after every single war, they came back with guns, learned how to use them, and they used them to protect themselves and their communities. After World War I, and you notice every time there's a war, like I said, there's this anti-racism campaign that America pretends like they're on. But we don't see tangible results. We're not even talking about reparations anymore. We're just going to support them just to get Donald Trump out of office. And then the next time, we're going to support whoever it is just to keep whoever it is out of office. All right. Call from. Hello?
Yo, forecast, what's going on, man? It's me, Slang Nocturno, man. What's up?
What's going on, Slang Nocturno? What's going on, bro?
Nah, man, just chilling, man. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the show. I'm just with basically everyone was talking about the black vote and all of that. I mean, all of you guys, like, you have like good talking points about for the elections for this year. But the only thing, what I don't want to take too much of your time today because I know you want to close out today. But I just think for these elections for this year, I just think black people should sit out and not vote because either way, if you look at it, it's lose-lose. There's no win-win here. You have Harris and Biden, and then you have Trump on the other side. So I really don't see the point of black people going out to vote. You know, me this year, I'm sitting out. I'm not gonna vote because I've already been sent the letter to vote, but I'm sitting out. It just don't make no sense. Like, I don't know what you would think about that because, what will we gain going to vote? We're screwed either way because Trump, we all know he's not going to pay reparations, right? Biden is all, it's all an act. He just has Harris in this year, a person that never identified as black. She said she's everything else except black. She's Indian. She's mixed race, all of that shit, but never identifies African American. So my point is, because I remember a few months ago, right, I saw an interview that they asked her about reparations, right? And the typical bullshit everybody that goes on TV and radio says when they ask a question specifically about the black community, they just say vague. They dodge the question and say that it benefits everybody. No, it doesn't, man. From when we were imported into the U.S., we never had first of all, we never had rights. We weren't human beings in their eyes. They said that all men created equal, but not us in this land, right? So for me, they say it'll benefit everyone. But how is that gonna? We suffer from redlining. We suffer from the crack epidemic, right? We suffer from the war on drugs. We've been in every war. The United States has meddled they've meddled in other people's businesses. We've been there. The Spanish-American War, Civil War, the Korean War, Vietnam, Second World War, First World War, you name it. But reparations should be paid, and we all know that they'll forever laugh at us. Reparations, yeah. How about we give that to all Americans, not just black people? So I remember watching her interview, and she says that every American, regardless of race, will benefit. But that's not the question they asked her. So I don't know, what would you be your stance on like this year's election? Do you think black people as a whole should stay out of it, and we'll see how that impacts the election? Or should you think people should go either way, because either way we'll lose? Either if Trump wins, which he will, or if Biden wins. But what's your take on that, man?
Well, I would say that we sit out and don't even care what happens, because we should be building our own. Even though I couldn't tell nobody what to do, but like as far as Trump, I would say Mike Pence is probably worse than Trump, but then I would say Joe Biden is just as bad as Mike Pence. So we don't really have an option. Like, I wouldn't choose between which racism I like, because I choose neither one. I would say, in my opinion, I would sit out, and not even worry about how it affects the election. We should be worried about how it affects us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but so the thing is, like if there was a gentleman that called early on, he was talking about the race riots and stuff. Yeah, we every time Black America's build up, they just went over and just firebombed our neighborhoods and just ran us out of towns, because wasn't it 1898 where was the Wilmington race riot?
Yeah.
They basically ran black people out of that town. Successful people. And I think was it Ida Wells? I think she had a some sort of I don't know if it was a correct me if I'm wrong. I think she had some type of branch where she had like an editorial that was associated or published some of her work, and they ran those people out when they had that race riot. So the thing, my question is, right? Black people, us, we'll stay in this land and fight. The thing is, what are we gonna do differently this time to avoid successful black-owned businesses, entrepreneurs, communities from being destroyed if we were to create successful communities? Because as you were speaking early on, we unfortunately fucked up when we went into integration. There's no such thing as a black community, basically. The only black communities that are left are the deprived black communities, like you have out in Baltimore or Washington, D.C. or in Detroit. There's no such thing as a black community like it used to be 60 years ago. Now, how can we build a black community? That's a good question. The only black communities are left, like I said before, the poor ones, where people basically live off food stamps, and there's nothing else to do. You either gangbang, or you take any job that's available, and you live below the poverty line. Because now with the illusion of inclusion, the black communities, I mean, for me personally, is forever vanished.
with the laws that are in place, there's no such thing that they'll allow us a certain sector of a city or town for us to build a community only if people in what they call white people call the ghetto. We build the ghetto up. But like you said earlier on the call, we will have to have influential, um, let's say celebrities or people like LeBron James, people with money. They know how to run businesses and they can teach other black people how to run businesses. And it's just not black businesses that we need. We as a people, we need to first learn how to love ourselves and place value on what it is to be black. Black isn't about having swagger. Black isn't about how athletic you are. It's about going back to our roots. You know, we are human beings and we've been dehumanized. So I think if we as a black community, we don't start with, you know, what are our values? What do we want to achieve as a community? Because we only focus on that economic part. That doesn't solve problems, man. There's black successful individuals out there that don't mingle with the black society or black community, and they well off. They couldn't give a shit about how what you and I are going through as regular black men. But look, that's the thing. Where you see, we seem to have this conversation, but we miss what the core problem is: disintegration of the black family. So we have to start there first. We have the family together, then we can build a community. We have a community, and we focus on economics. Then no one will stop us. But if we only focus on economics, and we got so many problems, I just don't see it happening. It's not that I'm pessimistic, but black unity is kind of something we throw out there, but doesn't really exist. You know, so I don't know how you see it, but for me, is we have to start with a foundation, which is the family, black love, and you know, and self love as well.
Right. I mean, like I agree with you. Well, I would say that I don't think black unity is that far of a reach. I mean, we got to understand like it wasn't that long ago we had like the Black Power movement. We were on the same page and everything like that. It was just, like I said, it was the counter, but um let me the answer your question first. What could we do? Well, it doesn't really matter like where we go because they will come. Believe me. Like when we start building our own, they are gonna come. We can go to Africa. They're gonna just do the same thing they did the first time when they realize they can't really do anything. They're gonna come and try to kidnap us. Now, we don't really know about all of the because not all of the times where they tried to come in to burn our communities, they were successful, right? Black people started realizing that they were coming into their community to burn it down. So, they had especially people who were coming back from wars, they were armed, and what they would do was form their own militia. And they would go on rooftops or like just hide in different places. And when those white people came to burn down the cities, they would shoot it out with them. And it was hard for it's kind of hard for, it seems to be hard for Europeans to fight back or whatever, as far as when it's hard for them to fight back against guerrilla warfare or whatever,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they what they were real successful shooting them down, killing them, and they drove them out of the town. Now we have to be prepared and understand that they're coming. And what was the other thing you said?
Yeah, we're talking about black community. I mean,
Oh yeah.
sorry, black community, black family. It has to start there.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
the
agree
core
with
of it
that.
all.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We definitely got to start. It definitely starts with the black family, and they understood. Creating a slave mentality started with, in the children. But I would say it's not as far fetched because we have been on the same page, and that's why they had to introduce the whole crack epidemic, the whole the whole integration. That was a counter to us being on the same page. And it's just up until this, the after the civil rights movement kind of generation that we kind of lost that sense of unity that we had to have. Now, I don't think it's hard for us to get back. In fact, I think, the younger generation is starting to understand it a lot more, even though, integration has done its damage. But, you know,
Yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah, for the most part. But the only issue I got is like now we're integrated. I really see like black families. You know, it's not it's not that I don't believe that we'll be a community, but I just see too many of our people siding with the white man. Just because I do get the strategics behind that, because obviously you're gaining financially from aligning yourself with them, creating alliances with them. But now we have the issue in the black community where men now, because now we're not being punished, right, for dating white women or and people of the sort. But I know that they've introduced the white female into circles that we used to keep 100% black, right? Athletes back in the day, they didn't mess around with white females, okay? You had black families, but now you see, for example, celebrities and most NFL players or anyone that's a professional athlete, I would say 65% of them are just messing around with white women. And to me, like, we all know that the white woman is the main tool of the white supremacist, right? They just introduced the white woman in any society and fuck everything up, right? So you got all of these black dudes earning billions and billions of dollars with contracts, sponsorship, and all of this crap. But when the white woman says, like, you know what, whoever her masters, whoever, put her in that path and says, you know what, it's time to put the plug on forecast. You've been married long enough with them. You got kids. Now it's time to get your divorce bill. And this is systemically how it's been working in the last 30-something years, almost close to 40 years. And it's something that I don't think we've addressing with more rigor, if you like. It's something like, everybody's free to do what they want, but as long as you got the white man infiltrating in the music, sports, and even in the social life of the black man, it's just, that's another tool just to keep the black man, a little further away from the end goal, which is for us to create, that community that we long for the longest, So, I mean, like you said before, yes, we've defended some of the towns with militia. There was African Americans that were ex-military. But, back in the day, the difference was that white population they had the numbers. Nowadays, they don't have the numbers. We all know that the white man is dying out, right? So other non-white groups are gaining terrain in terms of population. Back in the day, when they couldn't take us out, they brought in National Guard. They brought in militia, white militias from other counties 200 miles away. You send in reinforcements, and that was the only way to get us out. But nowadays, they don't need that. They got the white woman, because now the laws say that, well, there's no miscegenation, it's no longer a crime, right? So we can marry who we want. And that's another means of control. Get the white woman in, screw everything up, dominate the black man, and we'll always be on top. We'll get the dollars. They serve their purpose, which is to entertain us. They make money off of us. And then when they want to recoup some of that money, keep it in the white community. Yeah, that this full married white woman, and she was from there. And even here, like, I'm out here in Europe, and it's the same shit, man. Same shit over here. They get the white woman infiltrate in communities that what they call immigrants, right? There's no such thing as immigrant, but they refer to them as immigrants. Introduce the white woman in there, right? Successful black man that finished their accountancy schools or engineering. Marry a white woman. 15 years later, she'll divorce your fucking ass, take all your money. You got to pay child support. You're just living in a tiny room looking all miserable and shit. And that's the end goal. No matter where we go, as long as we are in their system, under their laws, we're playing, it's like playing a game under someone's rules. Like when you're in your parents' house and you follow and you abide by their rules. You don't like it, you leave, right? You get your own place. So, that's the main thing, man. Black people have to realize that it's not as simple as it seems. We can speak out and shit, but there's these tiny, small mind control games that these people got. Just very subtle. How can I say, very subtle masterminds that these people got going on. That just, as long as we're in the system, we'll always be put in our place. And when we start realizing that, and start letting them in our shit, then that's when things would change. It's like, well, one thing that pisses me off is like, when they talk about hip hop and shit, right? And they talk about Eminem being the GOAT. Come on, man. There's so many rappers out there much better than him, right? I can name a few off the top of my head. You got Royce the 5'9", right? You have AZ. You have Killer Mike. You have I don't know. You got who else is out there? Redman, Method Man, Immortal Technique. I can be here all night, and you dare to call Eminem a white dude the greatest of all time? Is the problem, man. They so they can put a white dude in. Hip hop will get more attention. They'll make money, and then now they take our shit, and then I keep on idolizing the white man. One good basketball player. Oh man, he's as good as a black dude. Oh shit, this guy is built like a black dude, but his skin tone. And this is how the white man, white supremacy, will always prevail. Now you got white chicks filling in their lips, getting the butt jobs, trying to look black, but they don't want to be black, right? They don't want the fucking melanin. Maybe a little bit. They tan up and shit. But that's the thing. We keep on letting them roll with us. Black Lives Matter. We shouldn't be rolling with them. We should be doing our own shit. Don't let no white kid, even if they say, yeah, we feel your pain. No, you don't. No, you don't. You might be a particular part trash, but you'll get treated. Even these junkie white chicks, right, that accuse black dudes of getting raped, they even pay attention to a junkie ass bitch. But when it comes from a black chick getting her shit knocked out, it's like, well, we'll just give this guy community service and nothing to happen. So I'm pissed off of seeing this shit everywhere we go. Here in Europe, even in Africa, in South Africa, you see this crap. So I just think that, it's not about racism here. It's about self-preservation. We want to make it. We want to stop complaining about this and that. We just have to, we have to draw the line. You're welcome, but you stay in your place, I stay in my place. We can all rock together. But my family and my culture is my culture, your culture is your culture. Stop taking our culture and benefiting off of it. That's the way I see it. Maybe it sounds racist or whatever, but I've been sitting back, taking a back seat. Not that I'm not been active, but I've been sitting in the back, watching everything that's going on. And these are subtle little things that you see, and they're just taking credit for everything. Yeah. We do all the hard work. So.
Yeah. I appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah, that's what Deshaun. I just wanted to chime in and just about this black voting and all these things. So I think that's something like, maybe it's me just talking on the internet, but I won't change much. But this is something I see is a big issue, man. Big issue, Yeah. Big issue. But anyway, bro, I'll let you off. I know you want to go to sleep. Once again, man, appreciate what you do. Even if you is trying to stop you, I see you. You're still on your grind. You keep going. You're still you're fighting to the death to get
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you calling me. I thank you for all the love, man. You show me love all the time.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. You know, remember, we're all we got, right?
Definitely.
All right, man. So yeah, we'll catch you around next time you live if I can. Cool, man. Or otherwise, you know, I'm always a fan in the stands, right? So yeah, if I'm not calling, all right,
All right.
all right, man. Peace out, man. Take care.
Hello.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hey, Forecast?
Yeah. What up, guy?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, what's good? Yo, great show, man. Good topic. I'm not going to be here too long because I know you've been on it for a while. I just want to say that I agree. I think as African people in this country called United Snakes, I think we should hold our vote. Being that we are descendants of enslaved Africans, it's a must that we show this country that we're not going to be played no more. They just showed a photo op of this chick, this Harris chick, putting hot sauce on her food, and I even said, "Oh, here comes the hot sauce trick again." You know what I'm saying? Once again, they trying to play us, trying to get our votes. You know. So you know what happened to Hillary? How Hillary talking about, oh, you know, I got hot sauce in my bag, you know, and then Charlamagne's like, yo, you trying to get the black votes? He was like, yeah, they're working. So you know, even with Biden, well, you know, they interviewed Harris and she said they asked her, like the guy said, asked about reparations. She said she didn't want to do reparations. She was going to give us a temporary handout called the Uplift Act, where it's going to not only going to benefit us, it's going to benefit everybody. And it's like when it comes down to us, even when they interviewed Joe Biden said, well, you know, if I'm going to give you know, black people in this country reparations, I got to give the Native Indians reparations. And like Brother Bakari said, they said, but they already gave them more. They gave them more money. You know, $400 something million to 17 American Indian tribes. You know what I'm saying? So these groups are getting richer and richer and richer, while we're getting poorer and poorer because we, like I said, they never ended slavery. Slavery is just reform, or you know. So now slavery is a prison system. That's how America makes its money. So they need us to fill up the prison systems. So you know, neither, like I said, either we hold our vote, or we might have to look into a third party, because there's other parties too, and see what they say. And if none of these parties is going to work with us, then we need to hold our vote and just say, look, fuck y'all, because we're not doing this no more. Joe Biden got on there. They interviewed Joe Biden. Well, not interview, but Joe Biden came on and said the first thing he's going to do is give the LGBT more special rights. You see what I'm saying? So they use us, and after they get what they want out of us, now it's like, okay, we got what we want. We got our votes. We got our 90% of black people voting for us. So the hell with y'all. Then they just, so we have to watch while everybody get this, but when it comes down to us, they're not thinking about us. So it's definitely a slap in the face. It's disgusting, and I think that we have to we got to do for self. We can't rely on the government. We got to start our own government, and the government got to recognize once we start our own thing and start doing for self, you know, and stop taking the government's money and all this other stuff, and just put our money together.
I think we'll do all right. I think we'll be more recognizable and try to do businesses with the motherland of Africa because they got the wealth. America don't have wealth like that. They really don't. They really don't. They borrow other wealth from other countries. That's how because that's how they make it. So we just have to really do for self, and we got to start thinking big. We got to stop being dependent and being independent. You know what I'm saying? So this is what our ancestors have been fighting for. But it seems like to me some of our people don't give a damn about our ancestors. They don't care because our ancestors was talking about freedom and do for self and being self-efficient. We wasn't never talking about joining hands with the enemy. So I just want to say that real quick. This has been a great, your show is great once again, epic. Just keep up the good work, my brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling, my brother.
Anytime.
All right.
Later.
Yeah, and I'm about to wrap it up. Unless my sister Moki want to call in, you can call in. But other than that, I'm about to wrap it up. But as a group, we have to remember, right? Black Americans were literally the only ones to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And like Bakari and Brother God mentioned, how the Native got their reparations, they received their reparations, right? They own land, they got casinos. Not to say that America is fair with their treaties and always upholds what they say they're going to do, but every other group that they mention already received reparations. They already received laws. We are the only group to ever pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? The Jewish people got reparations. Asians got reparations for their few years of what they experienced. But we are the only group to never, not only not be a part of what America does for its citizens, we are the only group to be attacked by the American government itself, where they drop bombs on our cities twice, right? And each of those can be considered, a reason for reparations. But we didn't have, we wasn't a part of all of that land America was giving away. The number is 804-601-4015. We wasn't a part of all of that land America was giving away. We wasn't a part of the GI Bill. We wasn't a part of any of it. But we were able to build our own communities by being on the same page, being unified, being on one accord. And today we are in the same position and we don't have any other choice. And to vote on, if we want our racism with a smile with the Democrats or just blatant out in your face racism with the Republicans, to me, that's not a choice at all. And we shouldn't even participate in something like that and give people the idea that, we're accepting of this system. Now, the brother Slaying Out Turner was right. The number one target of white supremacy has always been the black family, from slavery up until today. And they understand that community starts with a strong family. You put a bunch of strong families together, you have a neighborhood, a community. A bunch of communities, you have a nation. But until we can have a nation or an army or something that can protect us, then the same thing will keep happening. And if we don't start doing what we have to do, then, we just have to accept what it is. We might as well give up if we're not willing to fight back, because the enemy will never surrender. They will do anything that they have to do to maintain the position that we're in. But we have to respond with more urgency than they do. Right? This is the time where we let our American side come out. Right? America spends more money on self-defense than anybody. Right? So for us to talk about self-defense is American as anything else. All right, take this last call.
Call from
Antonio.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing, man. Just come check in on your show, man. I've been watching you for a minute.
All right, I appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah, you know, me watching your show, man, I know you know a lot of things, you know? I can tell that you know as far as, like, what's really happening, what's really going on behind the scenes. You know, it's deeper than what we think, you know?
Right.
I mean, do you ever talk about things as far as, like, you know about, like, the Illuminati, the secret society, the Bole, and all that, right?
I mean, yeah, I know about it, but I mean, I can't, like, I don't really talk about it because, you know, like, I like to be specific and, like, talk about specific things. But yeah, it's pretty much all the same thing as, like, all white supremacy, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that it's deeper than, we're looking at the outer surface of what's going on, but that right there is deeper than what it is. It's like we continue to vote, but it's like we're going in circles. There's no improvement. Whoever we vote for, it's still gonna be the same shit. You know, there's nothing gonna change. You know, so we know about these things, the Illuminati, just like when we watch these rap videos and the Bole, we know about the secret society and all that shit. All that plays a part on society, on what's really going on. But it's like we look at these things, but then we don't look beyond. We don't look beyond what's deeper than what it is. You understand what I'm saying? A little bit.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you, my brother.
For instance, like the president, like the presidency, right? Everybody voting and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody think that their vote counts. Everybody think that these presidents are going to be selected. These presidents was already elected before they were selected. They already know who's going to be president before you even go down there and cast your vote. It's like, okay, you have the Democratic Party, and then you have the Republican Party, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, the Republican Party plays the bad guy. The Democratic Party plays the good guy. So they have to have that. The Democratic Party is there for you to give black people hope. Yay, okay, yay. You know, you cheer, you happy for the Democratic, because you think they're going to make changes. They're going to do things for you. When you look at the Republicans, you say, okay, they're the bad guy because they're for the rich, they're for white supremacists, and they're for all this. But really, they all working hand in hand. They all work together. They already know who's going to be president before you even go down there and make your selection. You know, it just, you know, society is just all about the matrix, man. It's like if you don't have an open eye to see what's really going on, you're gonna always be blinded from the truth. You're gonna always continue to go down there and vote, and they're gonna always give you these same political bullshit, and you're gonna always continue doing the same thing and blase, and black people gonna always have, oh, okay, 4 more years from now, we gonna have such and such, try to get there, blase. Ain't nothing gonna change. You still got redlining. You still got all these things that goes against us. But it's a reason why all these things goes against us, because they want to keep us down as a people. You know, so I mean, it's the whole thing is it's just deeper than
than what it is. I mean, we continue to look on the outskirts of what's really going on, but we don't look deeper into what's really going on. You know?
Right, definitely, my brother.
Yeah, just like when you watch the videos. You know how we always watch the videos, and then the rappers, they make their videos, and they always got these like symbolic symbols that be going on. Everybody be screaming, "Oh, that's the Illuminati," and all that. All that plays a part on society. All that letting you know that who runs the world. The people that runs the world are the people what you would call the people that are working from the left hand side. You know, those are like what we would call the devil, quote unquote. The devil only means deceiver. That's all the word devil. That's all it means. It's just those are the ones that deceive the world and believing in something that's not really there. So you kind of like being blind from the Matrix. You know, just like when they made that movie, The Matrix. That shit is, you know. So you know, it's just a lot of things that we just have to like, just like us as a people, right? You notice how like when we try to come together and we try to build things, and the first thing they do, they send somebody in there to destroy it. Just like with the Black Panther Party, just like with the you know, all the videos I watched that you make, you know, like, you know, back in the days when black people had their own businesses, or they Rosewood that was down in Florida, the white man destroyed all that shit. You know, but it was a reason behind that shit, because they have to have it systematically against us as a people, because they have to keep us down as, you know, as being at the bottom. You know?
Right.
So yeah, man. I mean, it's just deep, man. And I just love watching your videos, man, because I learned a lot of things, a lot of stuff that you put out there on your videos I didn't even know about some of the things that we went to in the past. You had all your histories and stuff like that. I didn't know nothing about a lot of that at all, but it just opened my mind a lot more than what I already know.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that, my brother, for real.
Yeah, man. So like, we just gonna continue in circles, man. Just going down voting. You voting for something that's gonna always be against you. It's gonna, you know, we never gonna succeed. We're never gonna get. The only way we can come together is like everybody stayed on the same code. If all black people stayed on the same code, invest in real estate in the neighborhoods, open up black schools, open up black businesses, and invest your own money into your own, it's almost like the thing that was in Oklahoma. What was that? Black Wall Street, right? Wall Street.
Yeah. Let me go ahead. Hello. No, I was saying, go ahead. I'll take this last call, and then
Okay. Yeah, brother. I just wanted to just touch base with you, man. Just you know, throw my little 10 cents in, just to let you know that it's deeper than what we see, man. It's like we living in the Matrix world, and we see all this shit that's going on and everything, but yet we don't have that third eye to look deeper into what's really going on. It's just something that's behind the scenes that me, you, or nobody else can touch unless and they can, like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just gonna always be the same, brother. But man, continue the good work, man. I'm gonna continue supporting you, continue watching you and everything. And I just love your show, man.
All right, I appreciate that, my brother. Thank you, bro. Hello. Hey, it's Moki?
Yes.
What's up?
Well, I wanted to say a couple of things about what you guys was discussing or whatever with the last caller. He is absolutely right when he said, as far as the political aspect of everything. That is absolutely true. We have never, society at large has never picked a president. They put whoever's in office for a specific reason that goes along with the agenda. And I also wanted to say that as far as bringing about change, Black people got to get their minds really ready to actually put in the work that needs to be done to change our position in this world. Because everybody's like, well, we ain't ready and we got to stick together. And what we got to do is decide that we're not going to be the underdog. And we're going to go all out. And we going to go through this shit. That's what's going to happen. It's like when they had the Gullah Wars or whatever. You have to do what you have to do. And all of this trauma from slavery and people being scared of white people. And I never seen so many grown Black men be scared of white women suddenly or whatever. I said that to you before. And all of this. All that was a facade. But the real is something that's a traumatic experience that you could actually get killed back in the day for standing up to a white woman, looking at her too long, anything to her too long. You got to get past that, and you got to realize this is war, because I'm not about to let nobody dictate my life, period. I'm going to go where I want to go, do what I want to do, and that's just it. So either you're going to stand up and you're going to fight for your natural freedom in this realm of life, or you just going to take your L. And if you choose to take your loss, go ahead. But that's why we're not getting anywhere. Either we're going to get up and we're going to do something. I'm not talking about marching. I'm not talking about singing those songs. I'm not talking about making posters and all of that. That shit is funny to white people, because they are natural born killers. And we like ants they step on. That's that marching shit. We like a bunch of ants, like a bunch of silly ants. No, you need to get up, stand up, and do what you got to do. If you really want to be free in this world, which you shouldn't have to fight for your freedom, but these are some evil, demonic entities that's doing this. Let's be clear about who we fighting with. This ain't just a physical war. It's a chemical warfare, and it's a spiritual war. So you got to be prepared to do whatever, because they prepared. We already know who they worship. They ain't from this. They're not from this earth. They don't even have the wherewithal to withstand this earth, because they ain't from here. So they prepared to do whatever. White people get up and they could be just a normal day. They get up, brush their teeth, eat their food loops, and I'm gonna go kill me 5 to 6 people I don't even know just because I feel like it. That's their aftermath of slavery. But they don't talk about that. If that's what you did, that's what you came from, that's your lineage, then that's who you are. We didn't come from that. We're spiritual people. So, like I said, this is spiritual warfare as well. But sometimes you got to meet people where they at. I'm tired of them. I don't know about everybody else, but I am. So it's about being prepared for what's going to happen, because talking, that ain't going to get it. You can't talk to them. They don't care nothing about what you got to say, because it ain't them. So we got to do more than talk. We got to do more than hope and pray and wish things would change. And we got to go past this, possibly maybe we could be their friend. They the one who did damage to us. Why is we hoping to be somebody's friend that raped and killed and did all this stuff to our people? We hope and wish to be their friends? Nah, I ain't living like that. Flat out. It is what it is. Just as sure as you live for something, you're going to die for something too. Now, you can die a fucked up death because that's what you chose, or you can go out in the blaze like a real one. And I'm a female saying this. It is what it is. I'm not with the Karens and the Rusties. I'm not with that. But I need a whole nation of people that feel like that, because everybody should be tired by now. They got this chemical warfare on us right now. I know everybody not enjoying this corona shit. Oh, they got some new shit. Another strand that's even worse than that. Y'all probably didn't know about that, but it's coming real soon. So everybody that's worried about masks and gloves and whatever, they got some other shit that's going to kill your ass in 24 hours or less. Already brewing. They trying to control the population. There's too many melanated people on this planet, and they trying to get rid of that. That's what people need to think. The time is of the essence. Time waits for no man. So either we gonna fight this shit, or we gonna get taken out. We only have those two options. because they're not peaceable people. You can't sit down and have a conversation with somebody that's not peaceable. Am I correct?
Right, you're definitely right.
They don't want to talk to us about nothing. I told you before, and I'm going to say it always. This is working out for them and their children and their lives. They ain't scared. They ain't worried about us. It ain't working out for us. Oh, we don't have this and we don't have that, and we don't get justice, and we don't have any, wealth to leave our family and this, that, and the other. So look, they like, that's y'all problem. We don't give a damn. We living it up. So why would they care? They don't like us. It's embedded in them. People always trying to explain to white people about our hurts and our pains and what we go through. You think they give a damn? They the one who started. They the one who put us through this. Why would they suddenly give a damn now? It's not gonna happen. People need to come into reality about what's really going on. The fact of the matter is, we gonna have to fight this war flat out. And when people figure that out, or they just gonna let them unleash all types of damn chemicals and do all of the rest of the shit that they got planned, because they got a whole lot of other things planned too, as well. That people I ain't even gonna discuss that over the airwaves. But yeah, they got a whole lot of other things planned that's way more disastrous than this other shit that's coming our way soon. But it's no talking. It's time to talk is over. We didn't talk. Everybody is dead. Everybody that has something to say. I don't care how peaceable you was. They killed Bob Marley. He was a very peaceable man. He wanted nothing, but he always talked about peace around the world and blah blah blah. He's gone. Everybody got killed that was black, that was talking about being peaceful. They don't care if you want to be peaceful. They don't care if you fair kind. They don't care about what you doing. They really don't care unless they're using you. But I ain't gonna speak on the Nation of Islam. I know some shit about that, but that's neither here nor there. The whole point is, either you down with them or you against them, and if you against them, they coming for your ass. So what you gonna do about that? That's the question. So, hey, we need to get together and realize what we are facing, because we are not. We're so far to gone with this that it's at the end. Do you understand what I'm saying? Shit is about to get real. People about to die by the millions upon millions. Everybody think, well, it ain't happening right now. Yeah, that's right now. Just like one day people were playing in Africa, the next day they was a slave. Just like one day we was chilling, and the next day we wearing masks and gloves and all of this. So life can change in 24 hours. Really, it can change in 15 minutes. So I'm just saying, ain't nobody looking at this for what it really is. But yeah, the caller was right. We never picked no president. They pick whoever they need to be in that chair and in that situation to be able to get things done according to their plan that they have for all of us. And that's facts. And we're just going along with this system of oppression. I'm not going along with it, because now they got these borders shut. So I've been told I plan to move out this country. So I don't know. I just know that I can't get my own kind to want to get up and do something about this. But they can't wait to go shoot up people and do all of this in the middle of a pandemic. I don't understand that. They're still shooting and killing each other. I don't get this. Brainwashed. For real. They better come from up under these spells they casting, because they obviously seem to be working. They better tap into their ancestry and start talking to your spirit guides and get yourself together. For real. And come back into your true self and get your mind right and understand what we up against, because we stronger than everybody on this planet, because we was here first. We are God's chosen people. Act like it. And it's a time to chill, and it's a time for war. If it wasn't, wars is in the Bible. Am I lying? So that's all I wanted to say. It's a time for you to beg and plead and be complacent, and it's a time to fight and go for what you know and go all out. We at that time period. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, thank you, my sister.
All righty, I'll talk to you next time.
All right, Mo.
Thanks for the show. I loved it. It was a great show.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Like, I really enjoyed it. All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Yeah, Slang Nocturnal, my sister Moki is the truth. But yeah, I appreciate all of y'all for calling in. I appreciate everybody in the chat. You know, I appreciate y'all watching it, even though YouTube is always hating. Make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel. It's in the description, and all of my information is always in the description, like my email. I'm not sure, like I think the Cash App is yeah, that's in there, and all of that stuff is always in the description. So, but make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel, the Forecast Radio 24, because YouTube does remove my videos as soon as I put them up. So I try to live premiere them, and make sure y'all be on there. But man, like I said, I appreciate all of y'all for coming through, and we already know what we have to do. We have to put our tribal differences to the side and get on the same page, because we don't want our children to be murdered. We don't want our elderly to be harmed. We don't want to be harmed as, grown men and women. So we have to put our tribalism to the side to get on the same page and do what we have to do. And all of us here know that, but we have to keep pushing it and controlling our own media, controlling our own narrative. And we have to break out of this. I call it Stockholm Syndrome, right? The other brother call it post-traumatic slave disorder, but I just call it severe Stockholm Syndrome. And some of us suffer from it more than others. So, we got to keep having these conversations. And, again, I appreciate all of y'all. Much love to all of y'all. I'm going to try to put the video that got taken down back up on the backup channel. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but, that should keep an eye out for it in the next day or two. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're going to keep falling for anything.